Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Today, we're going to be breaking down yesterday's 9-game slate. We're going to be talking about the two games that started in the early in the 5 o'clock slate on DraftKings, as well as that 7 o'clock main. A lot of interesting basketball we saw. I was in a dogfight all night long just to get my buy-in back. Uh, Man, it was a really rough night, but I didn't lose anything. I made a couple of dollars, and that's good. Anytime you can play the way I play as a strict tournament player and still come out in the green. So that's always a good thing, and that's what happened for us last night in the sweatshop. First things first, man. A couple of cats in the sweatshop, man. They cashed out, had some really good nights. Shout out to everybody that had a good night, man. But we're going to go with our regular formatting of the show. As you know, we've moved over to include iTunes as a part of our catalog here in the DFS Sweatshop. And the thing I like about this is, a lot of guys have been saying to me, man, I would love to listen to the show while I'm riding to work or, later on the day when I'm on my lunch break or while I'm at my desk or whatever. But the only thing is I have to log into YouTube and it has to be, my phone has to be open and it's killing my battery. Man, I wish you could do a podcast. I heard a podcast maybe on iTunes. And I heard this, over a year ago when we first started doing this on YouTube. And actually, that's how I first, heard about it. I wanted to do the iTunes podcast because those are the cats that I was listening to. I was listening to cats on iTunes. And I wanted to develop a podcast, and I couldn't. And somebody told me, well, why don't you just do it on YouTube? So that's what I did. And a year later, man, I finally figured it out how to go ahead and get that show catalog over there on iTunes. I think a link should be available in the description to this video, and that's where you can subscribe. Go on there, man. Like it, share it, subscribe. Give me your rating, good or bad, no matter how you feel about it. Just mix it up with us, and I just wanted to let y'all know that I am over on iTunes as well, so you can definitely listen to the show. It is still a video podcast, but when you close your phone, it still can play. You still can hear it. So it's a really dope thing that we're doing, man. And the sweatshop is growing exponentially, and it is all your fault. Thank you for all the support that you have given us so far. Let's go ahead and jump into my core four review. Now, each day I issue out a core four of plays. These are guys that I'm just on, guys that for whatever reason, my research, the things that I've seen, really lead me to think that these are guys that combined can reach that 6x value that I covet so much. Because we know if you've got 50K in DraftKings salary, the goal when it comes to NBA is to get to 300. You want to get in the 300 club. You're trying to keep it 300. So on FanDuel, it's a little bit different because you've got 9 roster spots instead of 8. So there, 300 it can get you to the cash line some nights, but you want to get around 320 in order to really, really make your presence felt in those tournaments over there on FanDuel. So that's about 5.5x. You want to do that on FanDuel. That's where you want to get to. DraftKings is a little different. They don't have the bonuses and things of that nature. So and plus they have that extra roster spot over there on FanDuel. So you get a little bit more salary to play with. I think about 60 grand in salary to play with over there on FanDuel. So let's go ahead and jump into my core four review. These are 4 guys that I were really on. We're going to start with Kevin Durant. And how could you have not been on Kevin Durant? The narrative was there. He had the shots to really produce. But it was a really emotional experience to see him. Like, I got a chance to watch this game while I was at work. And he just seemed for the first quarter to really still be taking in the fact. It looks like that was the first time it really hit him that he was not a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and he had, yes, left them to go to Golden State. Like it first really hit him in that first quarter. And we didn't see a lot of great play from him, but he did pick it up in the second half, and he finished at 9.7K, 40% owned in some tournaments. He finished with 49.75 DraftKings points. That wasn't a bad showing for him. Not a bad showing at all, especially in respect to how low the cash line was tonight. I had some lineups cashed around 265. So that was a pretty low cash line. You really didn't have to have 6x to get to the cash line. But if you did, man, you really made your presence felt. Next guy I'm going to talk about was a guy that I was on as soon as we found out that we probably were not going to be seeing Tyson Chandler. Alex Lynn. We talked about, well, who's you gonna get, Alex Lynn or Alan Williams? In some lineups, I really wasn't completely 100% sure that Lynn was the right choice. So in some lineups, I went with both of them. But no lineup did I just have Alan Williams by itself. I had a lot of Lynn, and I had some Lynn and Williams, and that proved to be what really helped me to not lose my buy-in tonight. Was how much Lynn I had. This dude, 3K in salary, 37% ownership in some tournaments. He scored 26 DraftKings points. That is really good showing. That is much better than the 6x desired value. And this is a guy that's really good. He's a good player. He's a solid NBA player. And he should be receiving more minutes anyway. But, the coaching staff over there in Phoenix, man, they do what they want to do. And Tyson Chandler and the coach over there are like best buddies. So that kind of keeps Lynn in the backup role for now. The next player we're going to talk about comes from the same game. I kind of wanted to exploit the James Harden defense narrative, because this is a guy that exerts so much energy on the offensive side. He doesn't really play very good defense, but Devin Booker at 6.8K, he was 19% owned, so he was definitely in position to separate us in tournaments. He only scored 23.25 DraftKings points. Not a good game from him in the slightest. Not a great game there. And the last guy we're going to talk about at 10.2K, the ownership on him was only 11%, and he went out and scored 54.25 DraftKings points. Now, we talked about this in the VIP, and especially during the midday mix, where I tried to implore all the guys in the VIP to listen, man. Let's get you a big 3-stack together, because we know that everybody is going to be on the Golden State game with Oklahoma City Thunder. I was trying to let everybody know you need to get your big 3-stacks in. There's just enough value on the slate to where you can roster 3 of those guys, even 4. Go to Tristan Thompson. So I really wanted guys to get on those, and that's what really proved to help me tonight, because I made a lot of bad plays. There was a lot of guys that I missed on, but when it came to the core plays, either a big 3-stack or the core 4 that you saw here, that's what enabled me to have a small profitable night, and I'll take that any day of the week over losing my complete buy-in, which does happen sometime. This core 4 at 5x value should have brought back about 143 DraftKings points. Well, at 6x value, it would have been around 170 some odd DraftKings points. Well, this core 4 brought back 153.25 DraftKings points. That was good for 5.2x. If you used the core 4 that I had today, you really had to make some smart picks around those in order to hit the cash line running the way I know you wanted to. Not a great showing from the core 4, but not what I intended when we sent this one out. So, of course, it is what it is. 4 out of 10 slates is our target. I think this week we hit on 3 really good cores this week. Actually, I'm still up for the week. Had a really nice Monday. Tuesday was really good. I had a decent core last night that went really well. So we're gonna keep on plugging, man. And we're gonna actually look to outline next week's slate. I know on Monday we've got an 11 gamer. I'm raring to go on that. Tomorrow's gonna be a stack slate. We've only got 4 games on tomorrow's slate. And if you wanted to take any day of the week off, I would suggest Sunday's a nice day to just relax, man. But I'm going in. I'm the DFS Jerusalem. I'm in the sweatshop. I'm going in. So let's go ahead and jump into the feature 4 players of the night. These are the 4 most talked about, tweeted about guys in the DFS sweatshop on the desktop site where we do our chat logins. Also in the VIP on Facebook and on Twitter. We're gonna start with the who that's scoring all them points over there player tonight. And this could have been just a major stack option if anybody was sharp enough to be on this guy, man. I'm talking about DeAndre Liggins. The dude was 1% owned, 3K minimum salary, went out and more than 10x on him, 31.25 DraftKings points. That was a really nice play for the 1% of the DraftKings players that had him. The next play we're going to talk about is the how did I miss that play tonight? This is going to go to Robert Covington. He was only 10% owned in tournaments. 5.9K was the salary. He goes out and scores 41.25 DraftKings points. Now, small forwards really do not play well, usually against the Miami Heat. And everybody, I want you to stay calm, because whenever we get into the All-Star break, shit gets a little screwy. It always does. You've got guys that are ready to go get on into the All-Star break. You got guys that were on the bench, raring to go. That really didn't get a chance for the first half of the season to really, show exploit their talents. They really didn't get to put those on display because they were in a backup role. Now they're starting due to some injury or rest or whatever it is. So we're seeing some really screwy lines here going into the All-Star break. But I can guarantee you, once we come out of the All-Star break and everything is back to normal, everything is going to be back to normal. So Robert Covington is the guy that I missed. How the fuck did I miss Robert Covington tonight? The next play we're going to talk about is the heat check play tonight, and this can only go to Russell Westbrook, man. 32% owned, 12.6K was the salary. He went out and dropped 72.25 DraftKings points, had a monster double-double, 47 points. Just a really excellent game, and you've got to feel for a guy like this, man, because even though he knows he was up against an unbeatable team, in that respect. There was no way that Kevin Durant and the Golden State Warriors were going to go to Oklahoma City and lose that game. There's no way. That game was a blowout waiting to happen from the door. We called it. We already knew it was a blowout. But that dude played his heart out still, man. He still left it all on the court. And that's why, Russell Westbrook is a really talented player. Don't get me wrong. But the thing that separates him from most other players around the league is this dude never lets off the gas. He is playing hard every minute that he's on the court, and that is something that I really respect about Russ Westbrook. So that's why he is tonight's heat check play tonight. Salute to Russell Westbrook. If you had him, I know he helped you get to the cash line. Now, we must talk about that one motherfucker. And I got to tell you, this show started for me kind of late because I went back and I watched all of the condensed games. And you know what? I had to watch another game twice just so I could see how bad of a basketball player this one young man is. This dude sucks. I'm not going to say he's one of the worst players in the league. I'm not going to say that. But to go out, this is what sports is about. This is what guys live for. This is what guys prepare for. You find out, hey man, the starting point guard is not going to be playing today. Next up, you're up. Now you were a starting point guard in this league. You actually are trying to fight your way back to a place in the league where another team might want you and feature you as a starter on their roster. And you go out and at 44% ownership, damn near half of every motherfucker who had money put it on you today. 3.5K. So you was cheap as shit. Very affordable. You didn't have to do much for us to leave you alone. But you go out and you bring back 2 DraftKings points. Brandon Jennings, use a motherfucking snowflake with your snowflake ass. Now, normally, because this is what I do during the season, we have the sweatshop grave site, the sweatshop graveyard, where we've laid a few to rest already. And after the All-Star break, I revive people. It's a resurrection. Kent Bazemore, once we come out of the All-Star break, you will be reborn. All of you guys who are dead, Dougie McBuckets, you will be reborn, right? I'm going to allow you guys to live again. Get up out of that casket and give us one more shot. Give you another half of the season to make something out of yourselves. But not you, Brandon Knight. You dead. You're fucking dead to me. I will never, under any circumstances, roster your ass again. That's it. You're fucking dead. Everybody else can get out of timeout. Everybody else can come out and play. But you, Brandon Knight, you a motherfucking snowflake with your snowflake ass. You're dead to me, and I ain't gonna never roster your ass again. Now let's move on with the rest of the motherfucking show. Now, at this point in the show, this is where I like to go ahead and jump into my very best DraftKings lineup. There's a few reasons why I do this, and honorable mention goes to Kemba Walker, man. You're skating on thin ice, brother. You're skating on real thin ice because Brandon Knight is so bad that he wouldn't even play well enough to let me make your ass a motherfucking snowflake of the night. Brandon Knight saved your ass today, Kemba. Get your shit together. get the shit together. So let's go ahead and jump into my very best DraftKings lineup. Now, the reason why I like to do this, why I like to show you my very best DraftKings lineup, is so that you can know that the guys that I'm talking about are the guys I'm playing. Above all else, I want you to know two things about me. I am an honest player. I am a profitable player. You put those two things together with a love for people and helping people, and you're gonna make headway in this thing. You're just gonna do it, and that's what we've done so far. So let's go ahead and jump to my very best DraftKings lineup. Uh, did not hit the 300 club tonight, but this is it right here. Now, as you can see, this is a lineup that started as a core 4 lineup. This is a core 4 line. Of course, we had Kevin Durant. We had Alex Lynn. Of course, I had Devin Booker, and I had LeBron James. But what I wanted to do was I wanted to get some exposure to that Indiana game, and I just didn't think that Jeff Teague was going to be in a great spot. I didn't, I just wanted to get a piece of that game, and I didn't like Paul George very much either. But I wanted to get a piece of the game. I didn't like much on the Milwaukee side, which proved to be my bad. So I went with C.J. Miles. I paid all the way down from excuse me. I paid all the way down from Devin Booker to C.J. Miles right here. And I like Gary Harris at the spot that he was in as well. So I went kind of cheap at the shooting guard's position. Well, the next thing I did was I said I got to get some star power in this lineup. I already got Kevin Durant. I already like Kyrie. So let's go and grab Gordon Hayward. That'll be my late night hammer for this lineup. And of course I had Nikola Jokic in this because we know what Jokic can do. We know what he can do. And with some of my early roster builds, the core 4 that I had, and then paying up for LeBron and paying up for Kevin Durant, there was no way that I could afford to have Jokic as well and feel comfortable about it. So that's why we went down a little bit from LeBron, and we were able to pay for these guys. Gordon Hayward, we got in there, had a pretty decent game, 41 DraftKings points. This lineup finished with 291.5 DraftKings points. Not a bad showing at all. As you can see, I had it in a few of these areas here. This is one of the lineups that really helped me to get that buy-in back. The cash line was very low. The cash line was very low. I mean, this is a lineup that cashed. So the cash line was very low. It wasn't a very high cash line tonight. And let's go ahead right now and jump into a very quick recap of last night's games. There's a reason why I do this, man. You've got to know where you've been if you want to know where you're going. And a lot of you, like I say every show, man, a lot of you can't watch every game. You can't go out and watch every game. So what I do is I speak with the emotion and the passion of a guy who loves basketball. I'm just reporting to you what happened, the goings on of the night before. So let's go ahead and jump into a brief recap of last night's game. We're going to start with those first two early games that we saw. We're going to go to Charlotte, where the LA Clippers were in town. This is a really good game, really close game. Came down the stretch, actually. We saw Luke Mbah-a-Moute for 22 minutes. He had 8 points and 2 steals. Not a great game there for him. Blake Griffin, double-double, damn near triple-double on him in 34 minutes. He had 20 points, 12 boards, 8 rebounds while shooting 8 of 19 from the field. Also blocked the shot. Pretty good game there from him. DeAndre Jordan grabbed 16 boards, but he only scored 4 points. He had 1 assist and 1 block while shooting 40% from the field. JJ Redick started off like he was going to have a really good game, but it kind of tailed off in the second half. He had 10 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 block. Really good, solid showing for him. The coach's son, Austin Rivers, man, he dropped 18 points, had 3 rebounds, 5 assists while shooting 58% from the field. And Jay Crossover, man, Jamal Crawford, jumped off of the bench, and in 26 minutes, he had 22 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. Pretty good game from there. And Raymond Felton, man, he kind of did a little bit of everything. He had 9 points, 7 boards, 5 assists, and 1 block in his 27 minutes off of the bench. On the Charlotte Hornets side, big game we saw from Nick Batum. In 36 minutes, he had 25 points, 6 boards, 8 assists, 1 block, shooting 53% from the field, and he hit 4 of 7 3-point shots. Kemba, horrible shooting game for the homie. He played 41 minutes. The dude led the team in minutes and had 10 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. He shot 22% from the field, went 1 for 9 from 3-point. And that's just, see, it's something that the beauty of Kemba's game is going to the basket. The way he can drive to the basket. He gets low to the ground. He's very hard to get in front of. And I don't know where this falling in love with the jump shot shit is with Kemba. I don't understand that. That's not the Kemba that I've been watching. That's not the guy that I know can ball. Go to the basket, brother, like you've been doing your whole life. Like you did that since UConn. Go to the basket, get some contact, get to the free throw line. Kemba only took 2 free throws in this game. So somebody needs to look at him and tell him about this shit. He took 2 free throws the whole game. A guy that's that good driving to the basket, that good at getting contact and still being able to finish the plays, you should be at the line at least 10 times a game. At least. So not a great game there from Kemba Walker. He definitely was in consideration to be the snowflake of the night. And I know a lot of cats in the shop are pissed. So next player we're going to talk about is going to be Jeremy Lamb. 15 minutes for him. He had 13 and 1 to go with 3 assists. Pretty good game there. Marco Bellinelli off of the bench played 26 minutes. He had 17 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal while shooting 50% from the field. Pretty good game there. We saw Marvin Williams for 34 minutes. He had 9 and 5 to go with 1 assist. Not a good game from him. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, not a good one either. 30 minutes. He had 8 points, 7 boards, and 2 steals. Frank Kaminsky was second on the team in scoring. He played 36 minutes, had 20 points, 8 boards, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Big game we saw from Frank the Tank Kaminsky. The next game we're going to talk about is the Indiana Pacers at the crib getting shellacked by the Milwaukee Bucks, man. Really nice game we saw from some cats on the Bucks side. We're going to start with Tony Snell. 21 minutes, he had 13 and 5 with 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block. And that's just the way this team is going to be for the rest of the year. I'm telling you, without Jabari Parker, a steadying member of that squad there, you're gonna see these pop-ups of different guys for 2 reasons. Number 1, Jabari Parker's hurt. Number 2, Jason Kidd is a fucking nut, and you never know exactly who's gonna play. The only guy you know that's gonna be getting touches and really playing, getting a lot of minutes is gonna be Giannis. I can imagine, and right after the All-Star break, when we come back, when he has a few big games, this dude's going to be 12, damn near 13K in some spots. I guarantee you. It happened last year. Giannis, in 34 minutes, had 20 points, 8 boards, 10 assists, damn near triple-double. Also had a steal and 2 blocks. He only took 9 shots this entire game, and they won. 4 field goals were made, 9 attempted, 44% from the field. He got to the line 14 times. Listen to that, Kemba. He got to the line 14 times. So he attacked the basket. Converted 12 of those into points. Really nice game we saw from Giannis Antetokounmpo. Mike Beasley got the start, and he had 7 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists. See, a lot of these guys, they get these starts, and you don't see them produce. But when they come off the bench, they do. And that's because they're playing against the second team. They're playing against the other team's second team. And a lot of times, that's why when you see somebody like when Tobias Harris got benched, they benched Tobias Harris. No, sometimes they do that so that a really good player can come off of the bench and play against the second team, the next team's second team. That's why they do it. Thon Maker, in 21 minutes, had 12 points, 3 boards, 1 assist, and 2 steals. A pretty good game, I guess, at this price point. Tony Snell was actually the value play of this game. 21 points. 21 minutes, he really had a nice game there. Matthew Dellavedova, in 32 minutes, had 9 points, 1 rebound, and 4 assists. Malcolm Brogdon, 17, 3 and 3. And Greg Monroe, finally saw Greg Monroe. Where the fuck was this last night? He had 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists to go with 1 steal and 2 blocks. Milza Teletovic, awesome game in 16 minutes. He had 19 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and this dude shot 6 of 10 from the field, hit 5 for 9 3-point shots. Really nice shooting game we saw from Milza Teletovic off the bench. On the Indiana side, Paul George, man, he stunk up the joint. 37 minutes, he had 13 and 8 to go with 3 assists while shooting 36% from the field. Only took 11 shots the entire game. Not what we used to see from Paul George. Jeff Teague, 32 minutes, he had 2 points. He attempted 2 field goals the entire game. Horrible game we saw from Jeff Teague. He had 3 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block in 32 minutes. Not good at all. CJ Miles, he led the team in scoring, actually. 23 points, 2 rebounds, 1 block. Pretty good game there we saw from him. Monte Ellis off of the bench had a really nice one in 31 minutes. He had 18 and 4 with 1 assist and 2 blocks while shooting 70% from the field. We probably will never see that again from Monte Ellis. Miles Turner in 31 minutes had 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists with a block. The price point on him was so very low that was actually a nice game. He shot 33% from the field, hit 10 of 11 free throws, and took 3 3-point shots, didn't make any of them. Next game we're going to talk about is the Philadelphia 76ers at home against the Miami Heat. Man, Philly comes to play sometime, man. They just do. And we're going to start on the Miami side, but Rodney McGruder gave a lot of people that false hope last night. Came out, did not play well tonight at all. 26 minutes, he had 4 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, not good there. Hassan Whiteside had a nice double-double, 12 points, 19 boards to go with 1 block while shooting 45% from the field. Wayne Ellington, a really solid game from him. He had 16 and 5 to go with 2 assists and 1 steal while shooting a meager 28% from the field. Not good at all there. Goran Dragic led this team in scoring. He had 30 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, and 2 steals while shooting 57% from the field. But the best play in this game was James Johnson. In 36 minutes, he had 26 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks while shooting 53% from the field and hit 1 of 3 3-point shots. Tyler Johnson got into the action in 31 minutes. He had 17 points, 3 boards, 5 assists, and 1 steal while shooting 46% from the field. Pretty good game we saw from him. On the Philadelphia side, Robert Covington. How did I miss that play tonight? 19 points, 7 rebounds, 4 steals, 2 blocks while shooting 50% from the field, hit 5 of 6 3-point shots. When this guy is playing this good defense and his shot is falling, I say this all the time, he is a really solid fantasy producer because the price just won't go up on him. Ersan Ilyasova in 21 minutes had 14 and 4 to go with 2 assists. Not a great game from him. Nerlens Noel in 31 minutes had 19 and 3 to go with 1 assist and 4 steals and a block. And see, we forgot that just a couple weeks ago, Nerlens Noel, everybody was clamoring for Nerlens Noel at 5.9K, you know, and now the price is down to 5K, and we don't want to take a second look at him. We've got to remember, you know, where guys were. Gerald Henderson, 14 and 60 with 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block. He also shot 2 for 11 from the field. That's 18%. Horrible shooting day we saw from Gerald Henderson. And TJ McConnell double-doubled in 32 minutes. He had 11 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds, 2 steals while shooting 42% from the field. Dario Saric was the play of this game. In 26 minutes, he had 19 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block while shooting 46% from the field. Pretty good game there. And Lil Sauce went out in 30 minutes, had 11 and 1, did with 3 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Pretty decent game we saw from Sauce. Next game we're going to talk about is the Cleveland Cavaliers at home taking on the Denver Nuggets. On the Denver side, what are we going to do with Jokic, man? This dude just keeps balling, man. 37 minutes against the second-ranked DVP against the center position. He goes out and he drops 27 points, pulls down 13 boards, dished out 4 dimes, denied 2 shots away while shooting 9 for 18 from the field and hit 1 of 2 3-point shots. Got to the line 10 times, converted 8 of those tries into points. Really nice game that we saw from him. Jameer Nelson was an excellent play in this game in 36 minutes. He had 12 points, 8 boards, 8 assists, 2 steals while shooting 41% from the field and hit 2 of 5 3-point shots. We finally saw a bad shooting performance from Will Barton on this streak that he was on. In 22 minutes, he had 12 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal while shooting 3 for 11. Yes, that's 27% from the field. Not a great game there shooting the basketball for Will Barton. Jamal Murray jumped off of the bench in 17 minutes and had 16 points, 1 assist, and 1 steal while shooting 45% from the field. Not a bad game from him. And Wilson Chandler disappointed, man. 34 minutes. At one point, he was questionable and then upgraded to probable. He probably should not even have played this motherfucking game. 34 minutes, he had 13 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist while shooting 40% from the field. Not a great game there from him. Now moving over to the Cleveland side, where LeBron played 33 minutes. They were just talking about resting the whole big three, but he plays 33 minutes, has 27 points, 5 rebounds, 12 assists, 2 steals, while shooting 68% from the field, hit all 4 of his free throws, and the 1 3-point shot he took, he knocked it down. Good game there from LeBron James. Kevin Love damn near double-doubled in his 33 minutes. He had 16 points, 9 boards, 5 assists, and 1 block, while shooting 45% from the field. Pretty good game there. And Tristan Thompson was a very pleasant surprise in this matchup. In 35 minutes, he had 13 and 13 with 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block shooting 55% from the field. And DeAndre Liggins did get the start in this game. Jordan McRae got the start last time, but Liggins played 22 minutes. He had 9 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block while shooting 75% from the field. And that's why he was tonight's who that scoring on points over there player tonight. Kyrie Irving chipped in a solid performance in 35 minutes. He had 27 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. And Kyle Korver in 26 minutes had 14 points, 5 boards, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Pretty good game there from him at that price point. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Oklahoma City Thunder at home taking on the Golden State Warriors. A lot of emotion, a lot of energy. The focus was high. It was definitely on Kevin Durant, who went out and didn't disappoint scoring the basketball. He led the team in scoring in 32 minutes. He had 34 points, 9 boards, 3 assists while shooting 12 of 21. That's 57% from the field. Hit 3 of 6 3-point shots. Pretty decent game we saw from him. Draymond Green did a little bit of everything again. He had 6 points, 8 boards, 8 assists, 3 steals, and 1 block while shooting 28% from the field. JaVale McGee in 19 minutes had 16 and 3. Klay Thompson had 26 and 1 rebound with 1 steal. And Steph Curry, man, had a really nice game. He damn near triple-doubled on him. He had 26 points, 8 rebounds, 9 assists, and 2 steals while shooting 47% from the field and hit 4 of 11 3-point shots. We also saw a little bit of Andre Iguodala in 28 minutes. He had 8 and 5 with 3 assists. Not a great game there from him. On the Oklahoma City side, nice game we saw from Andre Roberson, man. And I think this dude is becoming a thing. I think he's really learning how to play with Russell Westbrook, get out on the wing, run with Russ in transition, look to either get that outlet pass if he gets bogged down going to the paint, or keep trailing behind him so if something happens at the rim, he can be there to clean shit up. And he had 6 points, 11 boards, 1 assist, 1 steal, and 3 blocks. The dude is also a really good defensive player, especially on the ball. He shot 3 of 9 from the field, not a good shooting percentage there. But Domantas Sabonis in 25 minutes had 9 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Pretty good game at that price point. Not a good game we saw from Steven Adams. 35 minutes, he had 13 and 3 with 1 steal and 1 block. And Vic Oladipo chipped in 20 and 4 to go with 4 assists and 1 steal. We saw almost a monster triple-double from Russell Westbrook, but he needed 2 more assists. He finished with 47 points, 11 boards, 8 assists, and 1 steal while shooting 53% from the field, and he only hit 3 of 10 3-point shots. Not a great game shooting from behind the arc there for Russell Westbrook. The next game I'm going to talk about is the Houston Rockets at home against the Phoenix Suns, man. Horrible games for the Phoenix side. It would have been just better to not even roster any motherfucker on this team with the exception of maybe Tyler Ulis and Alex Len. TJ Warren in 28 minutes had 14 and 5 to go with 3 steals. Decent game there at his price point. Marcus Chris had 32 minutes played, 7 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Not a great game there. Alex Len only played 19 minutes. Imagine if this guy didn't get in that early foul trouble and was able to play a full 30-minute game. In 19 minutes, he had 13 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. Really nice game we saw from him. Devin Booker, one of our core 4 members, kind of, he snowflaked out. 18 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, 1 steal. Not a good game at all from him. Tyler Ulis, we talked about him a second ago. In 27 minutes, he had 13 and 2 to go with 6 assists and 1 steal. Jared Dudley chipped in 12 and 6 to go with 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. And Leandro Barbosa dropped in 12 points and pulled down 3 boards in his 20 minutes of action. The next game I'm going to talk about is the Houston Rockets at home. The next team I'm going to talk about is the Houston Rockets. And, Trevor Ariza, he played 30 minutes, had 9 and 9 to go with 2 assists, 3 steals. Not a bad game there from him. Ryan Anderson in 32 minutes had 16 and 4 to go with 1 assist, 1 steal, and 1 block. Pat Beverly was actually the play of this game. In 25 minutes, he had 19 and 10 with 5 assists and 2 steals, shooting 60% from the field. And James Harden was his usual self. In 29 minutes, he had 40 points, 6 boards, 8 assists, while shooting 52% from the field and hit 8 of 15 3-point shots. Good game there. Sam Decker off of the bench had 14 and 4 with 1 assist and 1 block. Pretty decent game from him. And Clint Capella, man, he really disappointed. He only played 17 minutes, had 9 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists while shooting 75% from the field. He also blocked the shot and hit 3 of 4 free throws. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Dallas Mavericks at home against the Orlando Magic. And if I wonder what the fuck would happen tonight if Phoenix played Orlando. The score would have been 75-75 in triple overtime. Because these motherfuckers could not buy a bucket. The two of them together couldn't throw a ball in the ocean. This was horrible tonight. Horrible basketball we saw from the Orlando Magic. And we're going to start on this side of the ball, where Vucevic, in 27 minutes, he had 3 points. He did have 10 boards and assists and 2 blocks, but 3 points. Horrible. Bismack got busy a little bit. In 20 minutes, he had 15 and 7 with 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Serge Ibaka played 25 minutes, had 8 and 4 to go with 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. And this game blowed out so quickly that you just didn't see a lot of minutes from the starters. Like, you just didn't see it. Elfrid Payton, in 20 minutes, had 8 and 2. Just a horrible game. Horrible game for those guys. On the Dallas side of the ball, Wesley Matthews, man, he started off hot. He heated it up. He had 20 points in the first quarter and finished with 38 for the game. That was like almost blue balls to me, because I really thought that Orlando was going to be able to compete in this game and we were going to see a full run from everybody, but that's not what happened. West only played 24 minutes. He had 20 points, 4 boards, 6 assists, and 1 steal while shooting 70% from the field. Hit 6 of 8 3-point shots. He was on fire. Harrison Barnes, not a great game there. He played 30 minutes, had 8 and 4 to go with 2 assists. Good thing that everybody else played so well, because Harrison Barnes played like shit. Dirk Nowitzki only played 17 minutes. He had 14 and 6 with 1 assist and 2 steals. Pretty good game from him. Lil Bro, Seth Curry, who will be reincarnated. He will be brought back to life after the All-Star break. In 27 minutes, he had 14 and 3 with 4 assists. Pretty good game there. Salah Mejri grabbed 15 boards, and he did have 4 points with 1 steal and 2 blocks. Pretty good game from him at that price point. And Yogi Ferrell in 31 minutes had 10 and 3 to go with 7 assists. Not a great game there, as he is still priced up. Now, he came out and started the second half for Darren Williams. Darren Williams is done. The goose is cooked. 15 minutes for him. He had 7 points, 4 assists, 3 steals. Just Darren Williams, just retire. It's over. It should be over. We're done. There should be no more of this. Last game on the slate is going to be the Utah Jazz. This is the late night hammer game at home against the Boston Celtics. Boston, really jumped out to a big lead on this team, and Utah did a lot during the end of the game to not only help me win my money back, but to keep this game fairly close going down the stretch. We're going to start on the Boston side with Al Horford. He played 34 minutes, had 16 points, 9 boards, 3 assists, also blocked the shot in this game while shooting 66% from the field. Pretty good game there. Marcus Smart, there was an injury scare, but he did return to the game, and he finished with 10 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, 3 steals. A really solid game from him. Isaiah Thomas chipped in 29 points, but he didn't have to do much. He had 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals, but he just didn't have to do very much in this game. I mean, the guys off the bench really mopped it up. Speaking of that, Kelly Olynyk, in 27 minutes, he had 19 points, 7 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks. Really nice game there. Gerald Green chipped in 16 points, flat, didn't do anything else, but that was enough for a guy that was that cheap. And Joe Young chipped in 10 points in his 14 minutes off of the bench. Not much we saw from anyone else on the Boston Celtics roster. Let's go ahead and jump onto the Utah side, where leading all scorers in this game was Gordon Hayward. He played 37 minutes, had 31 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists, 1 steal, shot 52% from the field, hit 4 of 9 3-point shots, converted all 7 of his free throw tries into points. Really nice game we saw from him. Rudy Gobert got off started really slow, but he finished with 33 minutes, 14 points, 14 boards, 1 steal, 2 blocks, while shooting 50% from the field. Pretty good game there. And George Hill poured in 22 points in his 36 minutes. He also had 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals while shooting 7 of 16 from the field. Pretty good game there from him. Now let's go ahead and do a quick player pricing preview. This is where we get a good idea on who we're going to be setting in our lineups, who we already have a strong affection for, who we already know that we are not going to be playing. And like I said, tomorrow's going to be a stack slate. So we're going to take, what we see here with a grain of salt, because there's a very good chance that we're going to have to roster some guys that we are really not, as familiar with as we are, the household names, and that's just a part of stacking. We're gonna lean more toward or lean more on the point totals than we will the actual matchup or the name recognized. Now we know tomorrow's 4-game slate starts at 3:30. There's 4 games on the slate. We've got one at 6 as well. Make a 6, throw it into 4:30. 3:30. Just do it. Just do it. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the player pricing. Open that up. Now this is going to be the biggest question on tomorrow's slate. You can already see it. This is going to be the hugest question on tomorrow's slate. Okay, because as you can see, DeMarcus Cousins is the highest salaried guy on the slate tonight. Next, you've got Anthony Davis at 10.8. So we've got about $300 DK separating DeMarcus Cousins from Anthony Davis. They're both very volatile plays. DeMarcus because he can get 2 techs at a moment's notice, and Anthony Davis because he's just Anthony Davis and he's made of glass. So the hardest thing to do on a slate like tomorrow would be to fade them, both of them, for Towns and or Kawhi Leonard. The smartest thing to do probably tomorrow is going to be to just start Boogie. The more popular thing to do is going to be to play Anthony Davis. A lot of people are going to like Anthony Davis tomorrow. I foresee him out of all the high dollar guys, the guys that are 9K and above. These 4 guys, because all these guys represent one different team. DeMarcus Cousins is on a team that's really easy to stack and still get another one of these guys, because so many of those guys are priced down on the Sacramento side, and they're actually better than Anthony Davis' supporting cast. So we can look for DeMarcus Cousins to be in a very, very, very large amount of lineups tomorrow. I'm thinking 55, 56, 60% owned in some spots. Anthony Davis is probably going to be a more. Anthony Davis is probably going to be like, he's going to be very high on tomorrow. A lot of people are going to be on Anthony Davis tomorrow. A lot of people are going to be on him. Karl-Anthony Towns at 10.4. Going against the Chicago Bulls. I kind of like that. Even though the Bulls are like the best rebounding team in the league right now, I still like them. Kawhi Leonard, you could fire him up at 9K unless we find out something that he's not going to be playing or he's going to get popped in some sort of way. Jimmy Butler is questionable. If he does play, I'm still not sold on Jimmy Butler being 100% healthy and being able to roster him with the confidence that it takes to do it. I just don't see it. Drew Holiday isn't playing 8.4. The price is still up on him, but this is a plus matchup. I think we could actually look to a stack of Davis and Holiday in this situation. Kyle Lowry at 8K going up against the Detroit Pistons. This team is really tough against the point guard position. Like this is not a team that you want to target when it comes to the point guard. Shooting guard is a little different. Andre Drummond at 7.9. He's in play definitely against Jonas Valanciunas. DeMar DeRozan. It says it's the second-ranked DVP against the shooting guard position, but I still like DeMar DeRozan some tomorrow. Carmelo's a no for me. Wiggins, yes, I like Wiggins. Dwayne Wade is questionable. He's probably going to play tomorrow. If he does, I still don't like him. LaMarcus Aldridge, yeah, you can give me some of that at 6.9. Ricky Rubio, yes, at 6.7. People are going to see that DVP and not going to want to fuck with Rubio, but he's on a really, really hot streak right now. I like him. Darren Collison, as you can see, he's priced up at 6.3. So that's going to be somebody who, you're going to see him in a lot of lineups tomorrow. And I think deservedly so. Especially if we find out that Ty Lawson isn't playing. But if Ty Lawson is playing, I'd rather have Ty Lawson at a cheaper price point than pay up for Darren Collison. Kristaps Porzingis at 6.1 is a no for me. Reggie Jackson at 5.7. He was just 4.9. Had a semi-decent game. The price goes up to 5.7. No, I don't want you that tomorrow. Derrick Rose is a no for me at 5.6. Valanciunas is not a player that I'm particularly interested in. Matt Barnes at 5.3 is doable. KCP is kind of somebody I can look at 5.2. I mean, going up against DeMar DeRozan defense is not, the end of the world. I think KCP can have a solid game against him. Tobias Harris is definitely going to be in my player pool at 5.2. Marcus Morris is somebody who I like at 5.1 as well. Gorgie Jang, this is very interesting. Gorgie Jang is 5K flat, going up against probably Taj Gibson. Do you think the young man can get the better of the wily old veteran Taj Gibson? I think so, and I kind of like Gorgie Jang tomorrow. Taj Gibson, there it is at 4.8. Now you can take the discount of 200 and get the more trusted, reliable play. But when it comes to upside, Gorgie Jang does have a lot of upside, especially when Ricky Rubio is on the court with him. David Lee at 4.7. Now we know that Dwayne Dedman is, more a part of the inner workings of the San Antonio Spurs team. Like Pop likes Dwayne Dedman, and he should for good reason, man. Dude is a baller. He's a baller. He reminds me a lot of Dennis Rodman. He's one of those Draymond Green types. Doesn't really score the ball very much, but he's willing to do anything it takes, do everything else to get the team to W. And I do like that about him, which is why I'm going to have me some Dwayne Dedman tomorrow in my San Antonio stack. Robin Lopez at 4.5 is not a player that I'm very interested in. Kylo Quinn at 4.5 is a no for me. Rajon Rondo is a tournament flyer at 4.3, as is Brandon Jennings. Hernan Gomez at 4.3 is not a player that I really like. I like John Lewis tomorrow. Michael Carter-Williams is a no for me. Ty Lawson, he is questionable, and he's 4.2K. And if this little questionable guy at 4.2K plays tomorrow and sees solid minutes off of the bench, I'm definitely going to have me some of him. Damari Carroll at 4.2 is in play for me. Tony Parker is a no. Shabazz Muhammad is in play at 4K. Ben McLemore, the price has jumped up to 4K. People will chase that. I'm not fucking with it. Ish Smith is at 4K tomorrow. He took a lot of minutes from Reggie Jackson the last time out. And Detroit, Toronto is not a bad perimeter defense. They're not a bad perimeter defense. So if Toronto makes it hard in the beginning for Reggie Jackson, and we see Ish Smith come in and thrive a little bit, that's going to be a really solid play. Buddy Hield is up from 3K, I believe, to 3.9K. I don't want any of that. Let's we find out, that the Pelicans are in that same situation here in the other night when everybody's hurt and they're running out 8 guys total. There's like 5 dudes on the court and 3 guys on their bench. If that's the case, then yeah, we can play Buddy Hield. Courtney Lee, 3.9. I'm not interested in him. Neither am I interested in Norman Powell. Solomon Hill does consider consideration if we know Etuan Moore is not going to be playing. Costa Cooper's at 3.8 is not a player that I really like too much. Etuan Moore, of course, we know that he's questionable. Garrett Temple is out. Danny Green, 3.7 is a no. Anthony Tolliver, 3.6. I'm not really interested in him. Neither am I interested in Willie Cauley-Stein. Jonathan Simmons, Terrence Ross, Lucas Nogueira at 3.6 is a no. Corey Joseph at 3.5 is a no. Aaron Baines at 3.5 is somebody that I think we can get behind. I like Justin Holiday. This game blows out. We see a nice amount of Justin Holiday. He can definitely get the job done. Kyle Anderson is a no for me. Tim Frazier, no. Aaron Aflalo, no. He's the worst basketball player I've ever seen in my life. I do not want any Aaron Aflalo tomorrow. Let's go ahead and find a cheaper guy, like a 3K play of the day. Somebody that really help you return value and get you to the cash line, right? I like Langston Galloway. If we still see those injuries to the New Orleans backcourt, I like him. No way will I play Monte Eunice. Even if Terrence Jones is out, I'm not doing that. Let's see. Big DeJounte Murray, Vujicic, Bertans. I like Bertans tomorrow. Get you some Bertans tomorrow. I'm rolling out a San Antonio stack. It's probably going to be Kawhi, Aldridge, Bertans, and Deadman. I'm going to roll that stack out tomorrow. I think that's going to really set me up to jump ahead the rest of the field. I'm going to roll that stack out there tomorrow. I kind of like that. So let's go ahead and jump into Boban 3K. No, it's not a Boban night. Let's go ahead and jump into the point totals for tomorrow's slate. We're going to discuss these games fairly quickly as I am on the pipe hardener. The wife just got home. Going to be making it happen, Captain, in just a few moments. Okay. Let's get the logo back popping, baby. Here it is. All right. Felt good to see the logo in a couple spots tonight, man. A couple guys took down some tournaments. Or finished. One guy had a really nice showing. He finished 8th in I believe the 60K tournament. Really good showing for him, man. Shout out to you, the big homie. First game I'm going to talk about is the Chicago Bulls going to Minnesota to take on the Timberwolves. There's yet a point total to be released for this game. We know we've got some injuries on the Bulls side. We got Jimmy Butler's questionable. We've got Wade is going to be questionable in this game. Only guys we know playing for sure. When it comes to the starters, we know we're going to see Robin Lopez. We know we're going to see Taj Gibson. And even the point guard situation is kind of murky over there, too. We don't know from day to day if they're going to be rolling out Jeremy Grant, if they're going to be rolling out MCW. So for me, on the Chicago side, it's pretty much like a stay away. Like, I'm not really fucking with nobody from the Chicago side. I'm just not. Now, on the Minnesota side, I like Wiggins. I think he's definitely in play. I think we can look to Cat if we don't want to fuck with Boogie or Anthony Davis. Muhammad is going to be a solid player for the bench. Do not fall for the Tyus Jones. I don't think that's going to be very fruitful for you. As we know, Chris Dunn is back into the fold, and he's been playing those backup point guard minutes for Ricky Rubio, who I do like in this game as well. I think on the Chicago side, the only guy that I might be able to look at is if I got 4K left and fucking Rajon Rondo sitting right there and Jimmy Butler's not playing. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah, I'll take that. This game I'm going to talk about is the New York Knicks at home against the San Antonio Spurs. The one thing that makes me think that this game can be close and good, number one, is the highest point total on the slate, is the fact that, the New York Knicks are a home dog. And a lot of times that gives the home squad a bump. They're an underdog. And being a road favorite sometimes, we go in a yard house favorite, kind of gives the favorite team, less of an edge. It just does. It gives them less of an edge. They know the point totals. They know what the spread is. These guys know what it is. So the Knicks are at home like, oh, y'all gonna be us for 8 points, and they might play well enough to where we see 4 quarters of Kawhi Leonard. And if that happens, man, that's going to be something to watch. So I definitely am going to be invested in a San Antonio stack. We already talked about those guys already. I like Kawhi. I like Dedmon. I like Bertans as well. I'm going to have Bertans in lineups that I don't even have any of the other San Antonio guys. I like him tomorrow. He's somebody who I really like. A player like that can destroy the New York Knicks, especially if the game kind of gets out of hand at some point. I really like Bertans tomorrow. We can also look at Aldridge in this game as well. If you want to, attack them on the perimeter with, somebody like Patty Mills or Tony Parker. I mean, there's just so many ways that you can beat up on the Knicks and exploit the bad team that we are. So I have no problem with rolling out a San Antonio stack. The only thing is, be careful to not get popped. On the New York side, there's not too much that I really like. All of these plays on the New York side will be contrarian. They will all be low in ownership. People are going to want to stay away from that part of the game. And I think, I'm gonna investigate a little bit more, because if I can get, a guy like Justin Holiday at, 8% owned on a 4-game slate, and the game kind of gets out of hand and he sees a lot of run against the second team, I think he can play. And I definitely, will be willing to go ahead and take that 10x off of him. So you've got to look at more than just the starters. Look a little deeper into the team's benches. And that's why, watching so many games is so beneficial to me, because, I watch every game. I see every player play, and I have a really good idea in my head of what that player brings to the table. Next game I'm going to talk about is the Detroit Pistons going to Toronto to take on the Raptors. This is a 211-point total, with the Toronto Raptors giving up 6.5 points. Yes, the Detroit Pistons are a road dog. I love Kyle Lowry in the spot, but the problem is, this team plays such good perimeter defense that I don't think I would spend up for Lowry when I could pay for DeRozan, or even I don't think I would spend up for Lowry when I can pay down to the opposing shooting guard on the team, KCP. I kind of like KCP tomorrow. I think he's going to have a really nice game. We can definitely look to Andre Drummond if you are stacking Detroit, which I can get with that, a Detroit stack, where you've got, Marcus Morris, Tobias Harris, you've got maybe some John Lure in some spots, but you go with Drummond, and I kind of like that. I just would stay away from the point guard area, from the perimeter players when it comes to, well, especially Reggie Jackson. when it comes to that Toronto perimeter defense, because they're pretty decent at it. They're not as good as they have been last year, but they're pretty good. I think DeMar DeRozan, of course, is definitely in play. Jonas Valanciunas is not somebody who I'm particularly interested in. You could look at DeMar Carroll if you wanted somebody, have a salary saving play at that small forward position. But this could be a really good game. Probably going to be one of the most entertaining games on the slate because, it's only a 6.5 point total. And it's 211, 6.5 point spread, and the total is 211. So I kind of like this game. Plus, I don't think a lot of people are going to be on this game. I think everybody's going to have everything invested into the San Antonio side of the second game, the Minnesota side of the first game, and both sides of the New Orleans and Sacramento game. So if you want to target the Detroit, Toronto, or Chicago, that's going to be a really sneaky way to be contrarian and have different lineups from everybody else. The last game on the slate is going to be the New Orleans Pelicans going to Sacramento to take on the Kings. This is a 210-point total, with the Sacramento Kings giving up 3.5 points to the New Orleans Pelicans. Boogie is in play, definitely. AD is definitely in play. I'm going to have some of these guys, just not a lot. On a slate like tomorrow, only 4 games, and Sunday, I'm going to roll out 5 lineups max and may have the one that I like the most in a couple of single entry GPPs. I'm not going to go too ham tomorrow. We've got a big week coming up because Monday, we've got 11 games. And then Tuesday, we're back down to 3 games. And then Wednesday, we've got a ton of games Wednesday. We've got 14 games Wednesday. So we're in for it next week. We're going to be rolling. We're going to definitely be rolling. So back to the analysis of the New Orleans and Sacramento game. It is a 210-point total, with the New Orleans Pelicans receiving 3.5 points from the Sacramento Kings. You're gonna either have a boogie lineup tomorrow, or you're gonna have an AD lineup, unless some freaky value pops out of nowhere and we can roster like 2 or 3 guys with confidence at 4K or less. Other than that, you're gonna have a balanced Karl Anthony Towns lineup. You're gonna have a top heavy boogie lineup, a top heavy AD lineup. That's just the way it's gonna be tomorrow. Now, we talked about Drew Holiday already. I think you can fire him up. Even though Sacramento is pretty good against the point guard position, I still think the usage is going to be there, and AD being on the floor, I just really like the spot that Holiday is in on this late part of the slate. Also, I like where Carlson is as well. But in order for me to roster Carlson at that 6.3K, somebody got to be hurt, and that somebody is Ty Lawson. So if Ty Lawson plays, and I knew he was going to fill a lot of minutes, I'd rather have him at the discount than Collison. Now, when it comes to the bigs in this game, away from Boogie and away from AD, where do we go? Omar Ashik is not in play. Alexis Ajinça is not in play. Terrence Jones is probably not playing tomorrow. So that leaves like Domantas Sabonis, Dante Cunningham, and those guys. It's going to be tough sledding to roster, a really good team that we like, especially when we're stacking on the New Orleans side. But on the Sacramento side, you've got Matt Barnes, you've got Carly Steins probably going to be getting some minutes. You've got Boogie, of course. You've got Lawson coming off of the bench. There's a few guys in that game. People are going to be chasing Macklemore, so you can play it safe and grab somebody else. So it's a really, really, really good slate. I kind of like this. This is a playable 4-game slate, and I will have some of my ducats invested. Now, this has been your DFS Jerusalem. There are many ways to support the show. If you would like to support the show, because I'm here on YouTube right now recording live. If you would like to support the show, click that box over there that says support the show. Just click it and let it take you where it has to take you. If you wanted to cop you some DFS sweatshop swag, which is also very beneficial to the show, the link to the description, the link is going to be in the bottom. The description to the link is going to be in the bottom. So go ahead and check that out. We've got 100% Gilded Cotton t-shirts with the logo loud and proud on there, man. We've got hoodies, we've got sweatshirts, we've got t-shirts, everything. We even got ladies shirts. So ladies, go ahead and get you some sweatshop swag. It's all good. And also, you can patronize my personal PayPal at simmonsmaurice95@yahoo.com, or you can do the very best thing and go ahead and visit the website. That's www.dfssweatshop.com. That is where you're going to receive all of our tools and tutelage to make you a profitable DFS sports player. And I'm doing a very special promotion right now. So go to the website, hit it up, and let us know exactly how you want to be down with the sweatshop. Thank you so much for all that you've done for me, all that you've done for the show. We are now hit us up on iTunes. If you can't watch the complete podcast through video, hook it up on iTunes. Rate, comment, subscribe. I want to see a lot of you guys over there and making use of that new item that we've added to our repertoire. This has been your DFS Jerusalem. You can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. The number one thing that I want you to do in the sweatshop every day, all day, is keep it 300.